Welcome back to Foothills Firewood, guys. My name's Britt, and today we're going to do a wood yard inventory. Let's get it. All right, guys, so we're looking at mid-August, which most of the United States would consider the dog days of summer, and they're not wrong. Especially here in North Carolina, it is scorching hot pretty much every day, 100% humidity, 88 to 102 usually, with just outrageous humidity every single day. But with that being said, we are nipping at the heels of firewood season, guys. We are about to catch a break in the weather here in the next 1 to 2 months. It'll start cooling off. We'll start getting orders for firewood delivery for the winter. So I thought that it would be a good time to kind of go over what I have. It's going to be a bit of a messy video because I have stuff everywhere. I do have a little bit of a backup in my wood yard right now in regards to storage. I can split, I can cut all day long, but where do I put it? So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm going to do just a walkthrough of what I have, and it'll be kind of a benchmark for the season starter. So I'm going to turn you guys around, and we'll start here in what I call the wood yard. All right, so this is what I consider the wood yard here. I built this shelter whenever I bought the wolf ridge. I knew that I didn't want to keep this thing out in the rain. So these two things are the best things that I've done for my process, both building the shelter and buying the wolf ridge. I absolutely love that splitter, and I also love being able to use it outside of the elements, because we do get rain and I do still split. I would split right here where all these bark shingles are, just out in the open, getting beat down by the sun, because I feel like I always tell myself I'm going to split more in the winter and let it all dry in the summer, but then my tree service ends up, you know, really coming through in the summertime. So that's kind of where we're at. So anyway, this sits right off my driveway. The way my process usually works is my tree service guy, I don't know if you can see it up there, there's my firewood stand. My tree service guy will back up right through here. He'll usually throw an outrigger out right here off the driveway. That way he's not putting any pressure on the driveway. And then he will dump the wood right over in this area here, which is what he's done. And this is what you see now. This is all oak that is in the bucked up form. That over there that's stacked is maple. It's just a random load of maple. I'm really running out of room. If you could not tell just by the looks of the wood yard here, that's my backup. I can cut and I can split all day long, but getting it stacked somewhere or getting it in a bin somewhere is my current issue. Again, all this is oak. This is pretty interesting. I'm going to do a video on this in the future. This is called sawtooth oak. This down here is white oak. Like I mentioned, over here we have probably, I don't know, a half quart of maple. This is mixed oak, mostly red. More sawtooth oak here, as well as white oak. All of this stuff is just waiting to be split. I've got stuff on the splitter there that I need to get off. I keep my cooking wood, a bunch of my cooking wood, like my chunks over here, something dry. This is kind of where there's a table over here. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but that's where I bag all my bundled wood up, either there or on this stump that I use as a table here. And that's what goes into the firewood stand out there. So I keep a couple wheelbarrows and yard carts out here. And this is what I use this for. Of course, you know, no wood yard is complete without some random, you know, slabs and cookies sitting around here. This is locust. Normally I would just throw my cookies into a trailer and give them to my buddy that has a boiler. But locust is such a great wood for keeping and without rotting. So I keep the cookies, and if I ever need to use them as trailer chocks, or, you know, to level out, you can see where I've got some leveling under the wolf ridge there, or if I want to put some steps in the yard or anything, so I keep those. Other than that, this is the shelter here. This is a random pile of mixed hardwoods, mostly maple, some sycamore, some elm. Over here, I've done a video before, so if you've seen that, you're just seeing that again. But if not, these are all bark shingles that are going to go on top of the holes housing here. We've got so much rain lately. I'm really trying to let the sun hit that thing for 5 or 6 days and let it really dry out before I put a cap on it. This is all oak. I've done the measurements. It's 12 feet wide. It's currently 12 feet tall, and it'll be probably closer to 15. This should be anywhere between 8 and 10 cord of wood, based on the math. This, again, these are just a couple stacks of shingles that I split bark just to put up on there kind of as a roof. Over here, again, more random wood stacked. So this right here is bundle grade pecan that I would put in bags and sell as cooking wood. And this right here is some Siberian elm that I have recently cut. These totes are kind of random, but mostly cooking wood. If you can't tell just by the contrast here, this is one of my cherry totes. This to the left is pecan chunks. These are like 8 to 10 inch chunks. This to the right is all oak, mostly white oak, that I use for people who are like, you know, give me something that's 12 to 15 inches for the smaller solo stoves. These are all cherry, but they're kind of offcuts. They don't stack easy. Sometimes I'll have people, I'll discount these and I'll have people that'll just come get a truckload or, you know, wheelbarrow load of that. This right here is all hickory, and I am looking to add to that soon. So most of this is bundle grade. Hickory is tough to bundle because it's so stringy. A couple pieces like that I wouldn't put in a bundle, but the majority of that stuff is. So this is my wood yard here. This is where I do the majority of all my cutting, splitting, and just hanging out in general. If my kids think I'm in the wood yard, this is where they come. So I'll take you guys to the back where I do a lot of stacking. That's my biggest trailer. I was going to do a video on my equipment. I use a lot of small trailers that I can pull with my four-wheeler. Let's walk back here and take a look at this. So currently I stack on pallets. I'm looking to add a bin. So here's the first pallet right in the gate here. This is probably 75% oak, 20% maple, and then I don't know, whatever the other percent that I'm missing here, probably 5% of just random like gum and sycamore. And these pallets, I don't know, there's 1, 2, 3 pallets long on the bottom. Over here is just another random trailer that I have. These are small and good to pull with my four-wheeler. I end up just getting bored and wanting to split wood but not having anywhere to put it, so I just put it in this trailer until I get it figured out. This is maple. It's a 4x8 trailer, so that's stacked pretty neatly. You're looking at maybe a face cord and a half there. This is my personal stash. This thing holds close to 3 cord. It's actually, you know, it kind of slants in the back, but it's pretty tall up front. This, I only put oak or hickory in here. This is what I burn, or, you know, just my personal stash. If I ever get into a pickle and need to sell a truckload to somebody that I can't say no to, I'll pull from here if I don't have anything else ready. You can kind of see the variation. This is what I'll end up burning first right here, and then the top stuff. Everything down there is, you know, less seasoned, but will be by winter. That'll be 1.5 years, 2 years old. Like I said, all oak. This is my first, I guess not a bunker, I don't know what you'd call this. My first pallet stack right here. This is all box elder up to like right here. You can kind of see the color change. It gets a little bit grayer. Below that is ash. All this kind of gets mixed into the mixed hardwoods when I bring the truck back here and just load it with hardwoods. I'll never do a full truckload of anything really, unless it's, you know, premium like oak or hickory or whatever. When it comes to this stuff, I try to, you know, share the wealth. Box elder doesn't have the best BTUs. It burns good. It's got a great flame. It seasons quickly. But I like to mix box elder with elm or oak or what have you. So it's kind of a nice wholesome load. Ash is another good one. Of course, I have a lot of ash. But yeah, so I'll back in here and I'll rifle off 2 or 3 feet of this thing, and then I'll go to the next bin that I know I need to pull from, and I'll pull from it. Right here, kind of starting in this area, this is all red oak here. This little bin was an afterthought. I had this bin here, and then this bin here, and then this was just space. And if you do firewood, then you understand what I'm saying. Every nook and cranny gets a piece of wood. That's just what it is. This is mostly maple, but also some sweet gum. What you're looking here, all this splintered stuff, this is sweet gum, built-in kindling. But this is ready for this fall. So again, this will get mixed with some of this, and it'll all just kind of get moved out. This all the way down to that pallet you can see standing was all ash. This was a gigantic, one single tree. I don't know how many cord came out of it. My tree guy brought it, and he didn't even bring me all of it, but he brought me this. And ash is great because you can turn it around pretty quickly. This is still probably 8, 9 months old. I think I split this back in October, so maybe close to 10 months old. And it's all over the place. Like I said, I've got people who have solo stoves, and they want 12-inch pieces, and so I'll kind of cherry pick from these. There's some longer ones. Most everything I cut is 16 inches now. A year or two ago, I was cutting a lot more odds and ends, but I've been working with the tree service, and I've told the tree service that if their skid steers or their mini skids can lift it up and put it into the truck, that's how big I want it. I want the biggest thing. I'd prefer them to bring me a 12-foot pole that I can then process, because I can either, I can run my perfect measure or the Mingo marker or whatever, and I can get 16 inches every single time, which is what I prefer. And so here lately, my buddy with the grapple truck, he'll just bring me 6 or 10 big logs, and I'll process them as I get time. Every once in a while I'll have cookies that are close to 16 inches, like 14 to 15 inches, and I'll throw them in my pile as well. But usually most of my stuff is 16 inches outside of this ash. I've been selling it. This has kind of been what I've bundled all summer long. So a couple cord of that has been picked across the top and off over here. And this is all just stuff that, far from bundle grade, but it'll still be nice firewood. So I kind of put it over here, and I'll mix that in here and there sparsely with the truckloads. This right here is another crate of white oak. This is chestnut oak, which is in the white oak group. So I would sell this, but I'm also interested in burning this myself. Any type of oak, white oak, red oak, if I'm down to nothing in my woodshed, this is probably going to be the next thing that I pull from, in regards to it's being seasoned and it being good BTUs to heat a house. This crate right here, you can kind of see where I had the well, let's see if I can get in there. You can see where I had that stake kind of splitting it, because half of this was maple and half of it was gum earlier. I ended up selling that and getting an awesome load of black locust. So real excited about this stuff. This is going to be excellent firewood. Very heavy, very high BTU. Coming on back, this was quite a load dropped off to me by another tree guy who's brought me a few loads, but I do a lot less business with him. I've got one guy that I really enjoy. He's a nice guy, and he brings me great wood, so I stick with him for the most part. He keeps me loaded. If I ever start to get low, I'll try to send him a message or something. I try not to pester him. I just let him know. Like, for instance, here in North Carolina, over the last, 4 days, Hurricane Debbie came through. We got tons of rain, lots of wind, and I just sent him a message and said, hey man, if you're doing any cleanups, just keep me in mind. I'm happy to take some. And he said, no problem. This is all red oak. This stuff I split a little smaller. I like to bundle red oak. This is up here. I struggle to get this wood dry. This will probably take 2 years to really be like dry for me, like dry to where I would burn it in my house, because I get a lot of sun coming this way. Well, as I point to trees, I get a lot of evening sun that comes straight through here and will and really hit this red oak in the evening. But largely, as you can see, I'm sitting on a tree line here, so that's another reason I have all that ash right there. That ash is almost dry when you split it, so a couple months afterwards, even in less than ideal conditions, that's nice and dry. But yeah, this is all red oak. This over here is some cooking wood that I use. This is hickory back here. I split smaller, and this is oak that I split smaller. This is very thin. I use these in my pizza oven and a few other customers who have brick ovens that they use these in. Over here we got a full rack of maple. This is all red maple here, and then back there is oak that I pulled from. It's much smaller. Well, most of it is a lot smaller, so I bagged that up for some of the solo stove guys that asked me for, you know, 16 inches or preferably smaller. This is another little section of cherry here, and this, although we're sitting under a tree, this gets a ton of evening sun. I don't know if you can see the sun here. Camera's gone dark. The sun's peeking down over those trees, but it comes up and it's just beaming all the way down here, so we get a lot of sun. This is nice and on the other side, if I were to take you to the other side, it's nice and grayed out there. This over here is the last of the hickory that I've been bagging. More hickory right here. I use these little not T-posts, but they're like, I mean, they're like weak T-posts. I don't know what you call them, but you hammer those in the ground. They're little green posts. I use those as dividers sometimes. So like, as you can see, the cherry stops here, goes to the left. This over here is all white oak, and this is probably the oldest white oak that I have. This is probably 2 years old, so this would be good to burn in the house as well. Over here we've got all red oak. As you can see, I kind of cherry pick from it. Got a bunch of sweet gum trees trying to grow through. Those things are all over my property. But yeah, this is all, some of this stuff is longer. I stack. I got one customer that really likes a long 22 to 24 inch piece of wood. She's got a big fireplace, and I take her about a cord every year. This is all black walnut. Would have been better as furniture, but here we are. So red oak all the way this way, and then this right here coming down and over. You can kind of see the variation if I back up a bit, but yeah, this section over here is all sycamore, and that back there is also red oak. So we've got a lot of a lot of maple, a lot of oak, a lot of hickory, a lot of cherry, a lot of sycamore, box elder, which is also a maple, soft maple. Over here we've got my personal stash. Last but not least, this is the stuff that I burn. Anybody that does firewood knows you kind of get the skids left over. You'll see some mushrooms here. This is all oak right here, and it's great oak, but the sapwood gets a little punky, and that'll burn just fine as long as it's dry. You can kind of see right here as it cuts across. That's cherry, that's oak. And there's another stand that I keep, or another rack that I keep dry. That's just something that I use to burn in my backyard pit here through the garden. You can kind of see the pit, and maybe I'll do a video on this sometime. But this is my pizza oven. It's a brick oven that I use, that cooking wood that was in the far corner there. So yeah, guys, that's what we're working with. It's August, mid-August of 2024, and this is what we've got. I don't know how many cord of wood that it is. I've got so much wood in piles laying randomly. I've even got wood through that gate right there back toward my cabin, underneath the deck of the cabin. So a lot of wood. Looking forward to the season. As you can see, I am not built for summertime. I cannot wait to catch that break in the weather. As soon as I see that forecast talking about, you know, 40s and 50s at night, and 60s and 70s during the day, that's my jam. I just thought it would be cool. You know, like I said, I feel like we're on the brink of something great here. As soon as this weather breaks, people are going to start calling for some firewood. You know, like I said, probably we really start ramping up September and October, and then, you know, November through February is that's easy money. So I watch a ton of firewood videos on YouTube. Personally, I would love to see videos of your all's inventory, and you may be a 300 cord operation, you may be, you know, 4 racks and, you know, 6 face cords. I think it's interesting to see where people are starting, or where people are at, where people are comfortable. I think it's cool to see what they have in their wood yard species wise, and how they stack it. I've got this holes house in here. That's something new to me. It was kind of a deal I made with my wife for putting wood in the front yard, which is not normal for us, minus the chaos that is my wood yard. I usually try to keep that pretty clean. But I am currently looking to add an actual bunker. Jeremiah Outdoors in the 608 has just added a bunker, and that's something that I would like to do, something about that size. I know Chris in the wood yard, he has been loading bunkers for a few years now, and he swears by it. For me, it's just one of those things where, like he says, you know, if I could do all of this all day long and someone else could stack it, I'd probably never stop. I gotta sleep, but I'd be dreaming about splitting, because this is my happy place. But when it comes to stacking, you know, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. This is my least favorite part. But yeah, so if you guys see this and you're looking to do a video, you don't know what you want to do, but you want to make a video, I'd love to see what you guys have in your wood yard. Well, that's all we've got for today, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, if you'll hit that like button, it really helps me out. If you want to see more content like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments, throw them down in the comments box and I will definitely answer those. And until next time, thanks for watching.